Welcome to the channel, everybody. So we're going to continue on with our series on getting through Act 8 so that we can get closer to that Valiant title. So we are continuing on with Act 8.1.2 today. Let's go ahead and get in, take a look at what I brought in for a team, what you have to deal with along the path for the nodes and who's going to be along that, and also discuss which of the bosses I took, as well as how you can easily get through them. Okay, so right off the bat here, you'll take a look at, I did bring in primarily Venom, Corvus, and Aegon for this path with the intentions that every one of these are somebody who can go ahead and crit through the block, which is going to come in real important along this path. I have Loki and Heimdall in for support. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the path and what you're going to be dealing with and why I felt this was a great team for it. Okay, right off the bat, you're going to take the left arc, which is going to teleport you up, and you're going to take an immediate right. Now this is the units path, so this will be a great way to pick up a few extra units to continue on with after getting through this path as well. This is also the weapons path, so you are going to have to deal with the fact that as long as that is up, the attacker has a 50% chance of dealing power burn anytime you hit into their block. Now, if you hit into an auto block or a parry, it is 100% chance of getting power burn. Now, in order to disarm them and avoid that particular damage, what you're going to need to do is land consistent heavies. Now, every time you land a heavy, you are going to send that weapons node into a 20-second cooldown, and then it will reactivate, after which you will be restricted for 10 seconds from being able to do it again. So rotate your heavies in on a regular basis and you can keep them disarmed. Now, while they are disarmed, their block proficiency is going to be reduced by 100%, as well as the amount of damage they take from getting hit while blocking will also be increased by 100%. So this is, again, another great opportunity to have a champion that can crit through the block. And finally, you are going to have to worry about ticking time bomb. Now, what that one is anytime that you parry one of their attacks, you are going to get a fuse counter on you. If you reach 5 fuse counters, they will detonate and you will take 25% of your max health as direct damage. In order to avoid that, you need to go ahead and hit into their block and remove those charges. But keep in mind, when the weapons node is up, hitting into their block has a chance of power burn. So it is going to be a rotation that you're going to have to be careful with, especially with somebody like Punisher 2099, who is going to go ahead and kick off the path. After Punisher 2099, you're going to deal with Jubilee, followed by Warlock, Nick Fury, Professor X, and then after that, you'll finally go over to Ultron, who will be the last one on this path for the path nodes. And then we'll go ahead and teleport over to the boss island, of which you're going to have 3 options. Either She-Hulk, Black Panther Civil Warrior, or War Machine, which is the boss that we did go ahead and decide to choose. Now, for the War Machine fight here, you are going to have a better time if you take advantage of superiority, which the only thing you need to do for that is to bring in Villain Champion. Now, keep in mind as well, for each debuff that you have on you, up to a stack of 3, you are going to ignore 30% of damage that you would take from the defender, up to a maximum of 90%. If you have superiority, you will also reflect that 200% of that damage back onto the defender. Now, this is even more important to keep in mind when you also keep in mind that they also have Ironclad, which with Ironclad, any damage that would be dealt to the defender, 20% of that is redealt back upon you. So if you can keep your debuffs on yourself and have superiority, even the damage that would be reflected upon you back to you is increased and then reflected back upon them. Finally, you are going to need to worry about defensive transfers. Now, with this one, every time they hit into your block, they do increase their armor rating by 10%, up to a stack of 10. So these are going to be some things to worry about, but honestly, like I said, if you make sure you take in a villain champion that regularly places debuffs upon themselves, or make sure that you're constantly baiting War Machine's SP1, which he will place 3 to 5 debuffs on you anyways, from which you will be able to go ahead and reflect that damage back. This will keep you a decent rotation going, and you can easily get through War Machine, as he is one of the easier bosses to do. And honestly, outside of the armor up, he isn't going to be too bad. Just go ahead and keep pounding away and you'll have him down in no time. As a matter of fact, you'll see we really didn't have much struggle with him whatsoever. And with that, why don't we go ahead and get into the fight and see how it went for me. Now, I will let you know, with this particular Punisher 2099 fight, I did have to take a couple attempts at him to get the rotation down fairly well, to actually get what I was looking for out of this particular fight. But I did go ahead and give it just a couple tries. You know, if I fought badly the first 2 or 3 times, I didn't worry about reviving. I wanted to get a good percentage off of him consistently before I went in. So this is the only fight that I really did practice on this particular path, but it did give me a pretty good idea on how to get through him. And after a couple tries, you know, I did take a bit here, and we still were able to go ahead and get most of him down in just a single go with Corvus. So did go ahead and decide that it was worth the revive at this point, to go ahead and spend one and just finish him off and get through this fight and on to Jubilee. Nice thing about it is that did give me my first of my Corvus charges. This is a great path for exactly that. There are multiple champions along this path that can give you charges for glaive charges. So we all know that once he gets to anywhere up from either 3 or 4 glaive charges, he's pretty worked up and you can get through just about anything. And like I said, you're going to land those crits consistently, which is going to come in real handy when you need to get those charges off you and everything else. So let's go ahead and watch the rest of how the path went for us.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you. Who are you to tell me how to live life? In these times it feels like nobody's right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time into that and proceed. I need whatever the hell could make me happy, and I don't think you have a clue what could that be. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. They tell me that
As you can see, Warlock can be a pain to get the good rotation going, but obviously we're going to go ahead and get him down here and continue moving on the path.
I think this life could be special if I get rid of the devils. They think that I am a rebel, I think they want me to settle. There's nobody on my level, they think that work is too stressful. I think that work is essential, the grind is all in your mental. And I don't think you understand what I'll go through just to be in control of my life soon. All the negativity, man, I'm immune. I don't really need a mask with all I've been through. I've been making changes for the ages. 5-10 year plans are contagious. I attack that shit, I'm tenacious. And if you ain't, get the fuck out of my way then. Got one life, I won't regret it. I will fight until I get it. I'll look back one day from heaven and say, damn, I learned some lessons. And say, damn, I had no questions. I had fun in every second, and the journey was a blessing, yeah. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that can make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. They tell me that I'm never gonna
And we're on to the final fight of the path here with Ultron. And then over to the boss notes after this. Obviously, Corvus didn't play as much as I wanted him to, but we do still have a few charges on him. And we've got Venom poised up for that final fight. Obviously, a villain champion with class advantage as well. And we come over here to the selector node. We did go ahead and bring in again, another villain champion with class advantage. Plus, on top of that, it was a boost to with having Venom on the team as well. Decided, worst case scenario, see what we couldn't do with him, and then we could always finish off this with Venom if need so. But as you're going to see here, honestly, I was able to keep the debuffs up on me on a regular basis here, and we just go ahead and walk this. Brought him down to just about done there. Like I said, we could have went ahead and kept the superiority by reviving Venom to finish that off, but Corvus was alive and had a couple charges, so why not go ahead and finish it off with him. And we got the 90 units there, like I said, a little extra to help on with the next one. Used a few resources, but really honestly not that bad for this one. And shouldn't be for you either. Like I said, just make sure you're paying attention to the champions you're bringing in. Bring in champions that can easily land crits, as well as that you're consistent on throwing the heavies and you can get through the path. Make sure you bring in a good cosmic villain for the boss, and you can get through this as well. So not too bad, guys. And we're going to go ahead and continue on with this series of first part of next week. We'll have Crystal opening on Monday. We'll be live tomorrow for the usual Sunday night live stream, and then back to the series on Tuesday, and we'll be continuing all through next week. We'll be getting through Act 8 and be ready to go ahead and pick up that Valiant title once we clear it all. So stay tuned, and I hope everybody has a great day, a great night, and pulls a God tier champion soon. And until the next one, I love you guys. Peace out.